I recently had a chance to check out the early access version of the Waylanders, a new RPG in development from Gato Studios. Thanks for the review code. Essentially, the Waylanders is a party-based tactical combat RPG inspired by the classics that we love, such as Dragon Age, Neverwinter Nights, and Baldur's Gate. Early access for this game is available now through Steam, but something that you need to know is that it's still very early in development. Only about 25% of the final story is currently available, and being early access, there are still loads of bugs, glitches, and unpolished content that is slowly being patched. If you're after a complete RPG experience, then you'll be best waiting for the official release in the future. But if you're the kind of gamer who doesn't mind the early issues and likes seeing the developmental progression of a game, or perhaps even helping the developers out, then you may want to jump on board right now. Regardless, the Waylanders has definitely grabbed my attention, and I highly recommend keeping a close eye on it. Before we get into the meat of the review, it's worth mentioning some of the staff that are involved. The Waylanders is going to be a very story-driven title, and have employed some of the best to do this. Some writers include Emily Gracebuck, who wrote some of the Telltale games, and Chris Avallone, who has worked on loads of the best CRPGs to date, including Planescape Torment, Icewind Dale, Baldur's Gate, and Divinity Original Sin. Now that's quite a resume. Mike Laidlaw has also been credited as a consultant, and if you don't know who he is, well, he was the director of Dragon Age Inquisition, as well as a writer for BioWare's Mass Effect. To top it off, the Waylanders also has music composed by Inon Zur. He is an award-winning composer involved with loads of massive titles including Fallout, Prince of Persia, and Dragon Age Origins. So the talent and experience is definitely there, and that alone is something to be excited about. The Waylanders story is based around Celtic culture. I really like the visual style, and in places the details help bring this mythological world to life. The Waylanders' Celtic influences are made immediately clear. One of the races, for instance, are the Fomorians, who are a supernatural race in Irish mythology. Also, one of the main characters introduced early on is named Amergin, who is a druid in Irish mythology. Personally, I don't know too much about Celtic culture, but if you're into this kind of thing, the lore will no doubt be a huge draw point. As I mentioned before, there will be a huge focus on the narrative, with the main story being told in two time periods, Celtic and medieval. The choices made in one time period can have a huge consequence on the other, and the impact that the player's decisions make will be clear and allow for multiple endings. The story is delivered through loads of cinematic cutscenes. However, at this point it's difficult to comment on the quality and eventual quantity of these, as they're still being added in and polished. For instance, at the start of the game, there are scenes with beautiful emotive animations and quality expressive voice acting, which are then followed by scenes with no voice acting and no animations at all. It is early days, but there is clearly enough to see the potential. If every scene reaches this quality, then the Waylanders is something worth being excited for.
I'm the youngest leader of the Druids College ever.
Yes, Amergin, we know you ship rainbows. Stop bragging to the new kid.
Well, not all of us have had thousands of years to perfect our craft.
You're right, some of us learned to shut up before we turned 30.
Be nice, my dear. The sun hasn't even risen yet.
Yeah, because nighttime is when no one ever does or says anything naughty.
You begin the game by customizing your character. Here, you'll need to select from 4 races based on Celtic mythology, your character's background, and also your class. There are 6 basic classes such as Ranger, Sorcerer, and Healer, and 30 advanced classes that will be revealed as you progress through the game. Your character is a blank slate with no predetermined dialogue at all. However, just like Dragon Age and other BioWare games that came before it, your traveling companions are the focus and drive the story. There will be points where you can have in-depth conversations with them, take on personalized missions for them, and also, as you would expect, experience romances with them. From what I've played, the characters seem quite interesting, and I'm looking forward to seeing how they develop as time goes on. The Waylanders gameplay is similar to what you would experience in a Dragon Age game. You'll take multiple characters into battle who will all auto-attack. It's up to you to set targets, move the characters around the battlefield, and use their class abilities that are available on a cooldown. You can also start and stop the battle at the press of a button, which gives you time to stop and think about how to progress. The foundation of the gameplay is there, but at this point I felt in desperate need of AI controls, as my party members kept running off and wouldn't use any abilities until I manually did it for them. time. This resulted in an excessive amount of micromanagement. The defining feature of the Waylanders gameplay is the formation system. At any time in battle, you can select multiple characters to merge into a single formed unit. This will not only increase their statistics, but also provide various new formation abilities. This presents many strategic questions, such as which formation to use, when to use it, which characters to leave out of the formation, and when to exit the formation. At this point, the lack of AI controls and quality of life features that you would expect from a finished game are not present, but like I said, early days, and I'm sure this will develop nicely into something that is a lot of fun. Also, at this point, the RPG upgrade mechanics are quite limited. You're able to increase basic stats through leveling up and also learn your class abilities within a pretty small skill tree, but you can also select upgrades for your formations, which was a nice addition. From the early access content that I've experienced so far, the Waylanders is definitely something that I'm excited for. Even though the current early access release is very unpolished and littered with bugs and glitches, I can certainly see its potential. If anything here looks interesting to you, the decision is, do I wait until it's complete, or do I jump in now for a rocky ride, be part of the game's progression, and help the devs out while I'm at it? Let me know your thoughts on the Waylanders and if or how you'll be playing it. This was Hellfire RPGs, thanks for watching. If you liked this video, it would help out a lot if you hit like and subbed for more RPG content. Also, come say hi on the socials. See you next time.